And welcome to the Daily Space Weather. Smasho here, coming at you from the Smash News Network, least busted name of news, just bringing in the most comprehensive space weather and detailed imagery of the closest star you'll see anywhere in the known universe. And we're starting things out with this series of sunspots. It's the most active region on the closest star here at the moment. This new sunspot group, it will raise the sunspot number today, as there are a whole series of umbrae there. The most likely places for solar flares would be around that area. Let's zoom out on the southern hemisphere. There's the full southern hemisphere view. Splentacular imagery there from SDO. That's two wavelengths. That's 304 plus 171 angstroms. We've also got some honorable mention in the northern hemisphere. This sunspot group up here is producing some activity as well, as you can see. Lots of filaments on the Earth-facing side of the solar disk, including the Elon Musk filament, the Eugene Bagashov filament, and the Brittany Griner filament. Yes, filaments being named after living people. And here come the full set of data, the zoomed-out full disk view of Helios, a.k.a. El Sol, a.k.a. the local yellow dwarf. Again, we'll have another increase in sunspot number today, as there are a whole series of umbrae following this new sunspot down here. I think it's 3163 will be the name of that group. Besides that, things mostly stable. A little bit of umbral growth here in this northern sunspot group. We've got some sunspot groups setting there in the northwest. Lots of things going on, and some large sunspots on the Earth-facing portion of the solar disk. So here's the SDO colorized magnetogram imagery. That is yesterday plus today. Again, sunspot number to rise once again today. And by the way, if you'd like to check out our merch, check out the links below the video, as well as on the homepage at smashamash.com to the Smasho merch link. You can save 30% on totes and home decor items by entering the promo code WINTER22 on checkout. Do Not Pole Vault the Caldera has upended our previous bestseller. These items are in order of best-selling by design. And today's featured product is the motto of the Galactic Federation Special Forces. It's Universum Liberate. Again, you can save 30% on totes and home decor items. Universum Liberate is the motto of the Galactic Federation Special Forces. If we could wave our magic wand, we'd set everybody free. So if you'd like to get yourself an Universum Liberate tapestry, or perhaps a comforter or duvet cover or shower curtain, that stuff will all be 30% off by entering the promo code WINTER22 on checkout. And welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing that the channel exists. If you've never heard of the Galactic Federation Special Forces, it's classified. You can also find links to the Hemp Lucid shop below the video. So have a shop over there for your last-minute gift-giving purchases. There are the most popular products there, the water-soluble CBD tincture, but lots of other things available there as well. Perhaps Shop by Solution, looking to decrease your stress? Just click on Shop by Solution Stress, and you'll get solutions popping up for that, like water-soluble sleep lavender mint and so on. Lots of things to purchase, including lip balm and all kinds of small and large gifts for your friends and foes from the Hemp Lucid shop. Because keep in mind, folks, we make just this side of nothing to put the content on YouTube. Next, the 12 days of Smashmas continue today. What will be the 10th day of Smashmas track? Well, it's to be announced. At the moment, we've got Settle It, Journey to the Center of the Hearse, Syndicated, Wind Chime Madness, Unified Theory is day 5. So check out that playlist. It is on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/smashamash. If you're viewing on BitChute, well, get with the program. Make sure you subscribe over on YouTube. You're missing a lot of the content, And once again, since we make just this side of nothing to put the content on YouTube, we've created our own subscription services site. So we are still on Patreon. There is a credit crawl coming back before the end of the year 2022. We will be featuring our contributors by name. So thanks to our executive producers, people at the gold and silver level on the Smash Team site, as well as our patrons. Thanks everybody who's supported the content. Smashomash.com/SmashTeam is the location of our own custom subscription services site. There's an email list there also. If you'd like email alerts, sign up for that. And if you want to know what you're supporting, head to smashomash.com/forum/mission, and you'll learn that our mission is to assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics to raise the awareness of the general public's understanding of the relationship between space weather and Earth effects, to connect and consult with media organizations to multiply our reach, to demonstrate cutting-edge proof-of-concept solutions to problems like growing potatoes indoors over the winter, to publish scientific papers in a multidisciplinary manner, including but not limited to sciences listed on the screen, to assist mankind by advancing the study of predictive phenomenon in order to optimize value and reduce risk and liability and save lives and resources and adapt no matter what the adversity is, and to not be ossified in our beliefs and to treat those who are with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. Let's move to volcanoes next. And by the way, this is the area where Mark Zuckerberg purchased this real estate and built a wall. So there's now a wall around this peninsula, this brand new peninsula here. It's now being developed because, of course, Mark Zuckerberg needed some more real estate. So he's bought all the surrounding property and placed a wall around it because he wants this new peninsula to be his on the slopes of the Sierra del Fuoco. So just moving on here to our volcano coverage. That is an eruption at Stromboli, by the way. The small lava delta there. Some new real estate on the coastline of the Aeolian Islands of Italy. Stromboli producing some new peninsular geography. So that's always interesting. Shivaluch continues to erupt on the Kamchatka Peninsula, produce a 13,000-foot ash plume. Abiko exploding, flight level 9090, a 9,000-foot ash plume. Sakurajima exploding, 8,000-foot ash plume. Subanosejima, 6,000-foot ash plume. Mauna Loa continues to effuse lava, but it looks like it might not reach the Daniel K. Inouye Highway, or otherwise known as Saddle Road. It's still about 1.7 miles away from there. The lava has stalled as it's reached some flat ground. Fuego in Guatemala is exploding, though, flight level 150. Sangay is exploding in Ecuador, flight level 200, 20,000-foot ash plume, 15,000-foot ash plume over Ravenador, 23,000-foot ash plume over Cotopaxi as it explodes. I believe that is an uptick at Cotopaxi. And Sabancaya in Peru, we're not sure if it's erupting or not because volcanic ash not identifiable in satellite imagery. Please don't assume that it isn't erupting, and please don't pole vault the caldera. It could be unhealthful. Next, looking at seismicity here. Earthquakes over the past 24 hours are as follows, and we've had a little uptick in the earthquake activity here. No major quakes, but lots of quakes. So keep in mind, folks, any earthquake could be a foreshock, like this 5.2 on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge there, near the Isle of St. Helena. Any earthquake can be a foreshock, so keep your eyes open here on this one. We may have to send out earthquake alerts. Again, we do send earthquake alerts when we see tsunami alerts and so on from UNESCO. We typically get them out before the USGS does. We also saw a 5.6 at the Philippines in the past 24 hours. That came in at 20:01 Universal Time yesterday evening. We're just going to scroll up the list here. If we miss anything, let us know in the comments what we missed. And thanks to everybody who's left comments on our videos for the past pushing 6 years. Chile also had a 5.6, so that could be a foreshock. That 5.6 magnitude quake. There's a 5.5 magnitude quake. And those are indeed at quite different locations there. And Chile also had a 5.0. So the earthquake capital of the world right now is Chile. South Sandwich Islands also had a 5.0. Again, remember, any earthquake can be a foreshock, and let's get back to space. So thanks for stargazing with us, by the way. And this is the SDO 171 angstroms wavelength. That is the past 24 hours. And we've seen another rise in the radio flux here, getting back to our recent highs. We're getting very close to our recent highs, at least. The radio flux is now at 149 solar flux units. Still above the 81-day moving average for that. The radio flux comes from the upper chromosphere and lower corona, right about where my pointer is located. There's the one-year graph to put it in context. A little bit of a support level perhaps forming there at around 148 solar flux units. And if you're wondering what a solar flux unit is 10,000 joules of radio flux density. Next, look at the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard here. No solar storms, geomagnetic unrest, etc. forecasted by NOAA. Will that be correct? Are there CMEs headed this way? Well, we'll let you know later in the video. But at the moment, NOAA not forecasting anything except geomagnetic calm conditions for the next 3 days. Continuing on to look at Earth's magnetohydrodynamic pressure for the past 4 hours. It's our Geospace Magnetosphere movie. We show it daily on the channel. So that's 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from space as we approach the December solstice. When the sun is as far south as it gets, the shortest day coming to the northern hemisphere. Here's Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. Our ground magnetic perturbations map, Geospace Delta B, showing changes to Earth's B field. So we still do have some coronal hole high-speed wind coming in here as it slowly subsides. Those are the most likely places to see things like aurora, power line, rail line, and pipeline induction. Geospace Delta B. The planetary K-index is a measurement of global geomagnetism, and it's currently only at 2.67. KP 2.67 is the planetary K-index, and let's move to the real-time solar wind. Again, we're seeing this subside now. Solar wind speed dropping here precipitously, now at about 423 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed. Solar wind density quite diffuse here at just under 4 protons per cubic centimeter. The rest of those data are a little bit uninteresting. Next, moving the GOES magnetometer. We did see some arcjet moments there. The GOES, both the GOES 16 and 17 having to maneuver using their thrusters, creating plasma, and creating data that's not hidden by NASA. It's right there. Those arcjet moments are because those thrusters create plasma, which could affect the magnetometer readings. Magnetometers are expected to smooth out here in the coming days. And let's take a look at the heliospheric current sheet next. So the plasma that the sun sends out is polar. Earth lies in a south pole-oriented current sheet here at the moment. And there may be a north one popping through here in a bit. So we'll be keeping you posted on that at the moment. Earth is solidly in a south pole current sheet with no apparent sudden changes expected. Next, our line of sight field plot. The sun's B field shown here in blue. Solar polar fields in red for south, green for north, which is our cue to move to coronal holes. So we've got south pole-oriented coronal holes here rotating into the east. Those are shown in red, and let's take a look at it from the perspective of the SDO, the 211 angstroms wavelength. If you're seeing coronal holes forming around these areas here, those are south pole oriented. That brings us to sunspots, and we've got some interesting ones indeed, having recently risen and massively increased the likelihood of major solar flares. You can see that activity in the southeast down there on your lower left. And here's our sunspot view. We'll have sunspot 3163, which is a beta gamma class at the very least. Probably beta gamma delta class, if I had to guess, because it's looking quite active. The other notable sunspot group is, I believe it's 3156, might be 3157. One of these groups up here in the northwest. Let's take a look at the last 24 hours from SDO Continuum plus 193 angstroms. You can see certainly some activity in those two areas. And let's zoom in, get a little closer view there. The 193 angstroms is great because it adds some extended corona features, as well as you can see coronal holes and some magnetic field structure there. Let's subtract the 193 angstroms and zoom in at this group in the southwest. Quite a large sunspot group down there, quite stable over the past 24 hours. Here's this group in the northwest, and this one does have some consolidation of umbrae there in the trailing end. You'll see some umbrae coming together and combining. So that's a lot of sunspots there, probably over 100 sunspots in terms of their contribution to sunspot number. And again, I think this is the most interesting group, 3163. It's very close to the limb. It still does have the capacity to produce M-class and indeed even X-class flares. So thanks for leaving a comment, Tin Man 1057. Good morning to you as well. So continuing on here, now that we've showed the close-ups, let's move to the energetic particles. We ain't got none, despite having some flaring. So we've had an uptick in the solar flaring, but no uptick in the proton flux. No relativistic particles have been blasted our way. And there you can see a huge uptick there in the X-ray profile. You can see this especially over the 7-day graph. The last day or two have featured a huge increase in X-ray flux. We've had some significant C-class flares here over the past 24 hours, no less than 7 C-class flares, the latest one being the largest one as well, I think. C4.56 magnitude flare, and let's take a look at it from SDO 94 angstroms. Very active region down there in the southeast. Let's take a close-up of that. I believe that is the money shot on today's video. We'll also zoom out and show you 131 angstroms, the other best wavelength through which to view solar flares from SDO. And let's get into some astrography. That is where things are located. And the sun's just risen here over Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. We've also got Venus and Mercury trailing the sun as the moon sets in the west. Let's do a solar system forecast, as this is where things are on 12/10. Let's advance this 1 week. Here's where things will be in 7 days on the 17th. Keep in mind that's not to scale. And let's take a look at some coronagraphs, as we've got some spectacular CMEs once again to cover. So there's a great one coming out of the east. That's 91 frames from yesterday. And here are 52 frames from today. Are they earthly directed? Well, we'll get to it here by looking at stereo A, which has a huge expansive missing data, and the Soho-Lascaux C3 here at Lagrange 1. So the Soho-Lascaux C3 here on your right, that's Lagrange 1. Stereo A here on the left, that's Lagrange 5. Now I paused it right here because I just wanted to show this. It looks like there may be a halo eruption right here. You can see a minor amount of diffuse CME material there. And I'm here to tell you that's on the far side of the sun. So we've got a huge expanse of missing data here. You can see it goes from, on stereo A, it goes from 2300 yesterday to 12:09 p.m. today. So like 13 hours of missing data there. Suboptimal. But It looks like the CME we're seeing there is on the far side of the sun, not on the Earth side. So that's the best guess. Let's let the Soho Lasco C3 play through. Before we show the 24-hour videos. The verdict here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news, is that those CMEs are not earthly directed. And of course, sometimes we have to use some deductive reasoning to figure that out because we don't have a stereo B. What we really need is a stereo BX, a stereo B that has an X-ray detector on it to prove the anisotropic nature of solar X-ray flares. In any case, here's the last 24 hours in composite. Some great CME happening there on the east side. Nowhere near earthly directed. It's sort of on the east and on the far side of the sun. There's a zoom out, and we'll zoom out one step farther here. There is the full zoom out Soho Lasco C2, C3, and SDO 304 angstroms wavelength. And next, let's move to filaments, as we've got quite a lot. So we've got the Musk filament is setting down here. We've got the Bagashov filament is setting up here in the northwest. We've got the Brittany Griner filament over here, looking fairly stable there. We've got probably two new filaments that should be named up here, so I would put that in the audience's hands once again. Dear audience, name these filaments. You should be naming them after living people. Let us know what you think they should be called. The likelihood of additional coronal mass ejections remains at nearly 100%. We'll keep you posted on that. We'll be streaming it. The GOES 16 SUVI. We'll be streaming that on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SmashOmash. Install the mobile app to actually see when we go live. Unlike certain streaming apps that barely function on their best day and don't function about half of the time, this is the past 24 hours from SDO 304 plus 335 angstroms. And let's subtract the 335 and look at the last about 2.5 hours. So there is the last about 2.5 hours from the GOES 16 SUVI. Which brings us to our bonus features segment. So first in bonus features, we're talking about satellite charging hazards, and we've got some minor ones here caused by surface charging in the Central Pacific, coming at you a little bit later than normal today. Here is your GOES electron flux. We're expecting this to rise as the coronal hole high-speed stream is in the process of subsiding now. There is the relativistic electron forecast model from NOAA. No arguments there. The green boxes are the forecast. The yellow diamonds are not Lucky Charms. Those are the observations. Here's the one-year graph to put it in context. That is from Solon.info. And next, let's take a look at the F ionosphere layer, because that is where the GOES 16 and GOES 17 endeavor to measure the electron flux. This is the vibrational frequency of the F ionosphere layer, courtesy of Australian Government Bureau Meteorology. So that's what's going on at the bridge between Earth and space. Here's the anomalygram showing anomaly in megahertz from a 30-day median. We are still seeing significant anomalies there around South America. Anyway, there's the latest image. That's 1330 Universal Time ionogram, 1330 Universal Time anomalygram. We'll also look at the total electron content forecast, as well as the current total electron content imagery. That's the electron content between your GPS satellite and your handset, out to about 12,500 miles of altitude. There is the latest image. The total electron content map. And here is the total electron content forecast, one of the many features of the Space Weather Prediction Center. And we should see this get a little bit more organized here in the coming days. At the moment, it's pretty disorderly. A lot of free electrons kind of all over the place. Huge GPS errors expected there around North America and so on, even though it's pushing wintertime. So, disorganized total electron content. Again, that is the free electrons from the inner portion of the outer Van Allen belt down to your GPS handset level. Your GPS could be off by thousands of errors, by thousands of miles rather, if you see a yellow blob over your location. Turn on Wi-Fi accuracy to increase the accuracy of your navigation. Next, the latest intensitygram and latest colorized magnetogram. And let's take a look at this group first. It is Beta Gamma Delta class. And it looks like it's actually lighting up on the Gong 2 data. So this could be fixing to produce some flares. These groups up here are definitely quite active. Let me try that again. There's the rock back on all those complex magnetic fields. Certainly beta gamma class sunspot groups, some beta gamma delta class sunspot groups. Lots of activity there. And of course, let's take a look at these groups. These are, again, the most interesting in my opinion. And there are the fields. Another group up here, that'll be 3164. So sunspot number rising once again. If you were hoping and banking on 0 sunspot days, sorry, it's not a thing. Just like your grand solar minimum is not a thing. If you've painted yourself into the corner, please come out. Next, we're going to look at the last imagery from SDO here in 3 wavelengths. This is yesterday plus today. The 211 angstroms wavelength is the extended corona and coronal hole features. That's the green. The red is the 304 angstroms, which it normally is. And the blue is the 171 angstroms, which is normally gold colored. And it's time to move to meteorology, as we've got some additional shocking snow forecasts coming as snow falls and falls and falls. It's beginning to look a lot like a higher albedo. Before we do the meteorology segment, I would remind you all to, if you're using social media, try Twitter. Do you not have a Twitter account? We just started our Twitter account back in 2019, I believe it was. We've got 18,000 tweets, daily original content for over 5 years, and 338 followers. Why? Shadow bans. Yeah, shadow bans. Now known as deboosting with Newspeak, or there are some other terms that Twitter will pathetically use to describe the ridiculous censorship on the platform. Again, you can find links to the 12 Days of Smashmas pinned on the Twitter page, providing original music on each of the first 12 days of December for our friends and foes. By the way, if you'd like to improve your health, you can find a link to the American Better Health Organization, DBA SureMed, below the video. Use the link to join SureMed if you'd like to improve your health. You'll get things like doctors by phone, counselors by phone, virtual veterinarians, discounts of 15 to 50% on dental, and that would be above and beyond any dental insurance that you have, discounts on vision, save up to 60% on eyewear and things like that, CT scans, durable medical equipment, diabetic supplies, hearing aids, labs, vitamins. Health Advocate Solutions help you negotiate lower bills by trained professionals. Just with a base membership. It's not even insurance, folks. It's just an association membership with the nonprofit organization known as the American Better Health Organization. I'm a member, and I endorse this product. Next, welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing that the channel exists. Our homepage is smashomash.com, so help us out with links if you're unable or unwilling to open your cobweb-encrusted wallet and send us a few bucks per month by becoming a member of the Smash team. You can find all kinds of links to our social media there. Let us know in the comments what your favorite social media is. Credit crawl coming soon. Before the end of the year, the credit crawl is coming back. Thanks most of all to our Gold and Silver Smash Team members, especially our Gold annual paid-up subscription members. That is the best value. It includes complimentary merch. All right, so here's what we're doing next. We are looking at the surface temperature of planet Earth. So there is the southern polar region as summer approaches Antarctica. There are still some places where it is negative 34 degrees Fahrenheit on the world's coldest, driest, and highest continent. Yes, got the highest average altitude, the lowest average temperature, and the lowest average humidity, Antarctica. There's what's going on in the northern hemisphere, and look at these cold regions here in Siberia. Those are ridiculous. 50 degrees below zero Fahrenheit, negative 50 Fahrenheit in portions of northern Asia. Anyway, looking pretty warm in Australia here as summer approaches. The land Fremunda. Here are the surface winds of this side of the planet. Here are the jet streams of this side of the planet. Here are the jet streams of the Western world. Here are the surface winds of the Western world. We got this strong low still hanging out in the North Atlantic there. Not too far from the Azores, probably producing some proper surf in the Azores right now. Here are the surface winds of the central world, and here are the jet streams. If you want to look at those yourself, it's nullschool.net's Earth wind map. The jet streams are the 250 hectopascal winds, and those are probably, by the way, the most important feature with which to forecast global weather patterns. Continuing on to our 3.9 nanometer radiation map of the Americas. That's clouds and fog over this side of the planet as NASA projects the croissant-shaped Earth onto a spherical template using Adobe Photoshop or something like that. It's CGI, folks. It's not just photographs from a satellite that's in space, which is totally not a better explanation of it. It must be tens of thousands of people's in on the lie trying to trick people into believing that the planet is spherically shaped when everybody who views our channel is well aware that Earth is shaped like the French pastry, a croissant. Next, weather.gov, and there is what's going on in terms of the U.S. weather map, and lots of weather alerts there. Many winter storm warnings showing up in pink in the western portion of the country. We'll scroll down briefly to show you what the key is. So there's the key. And I would say the key is head to weather.gov. If you're not familiar with what's going to go on with your weather patterns, click your county if your county or waterway are lit. Looking like foggy times in the southeastern U.S. And let's take a look at some forecasts here as we've got some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. And check it out. Expecting 4 feet of snow in the coming 3 days to fall in portions of California. Some very, very heavy snow indeed. Also some snow around the Great Lakes region. Even some snow in Pennsylvania. That's a GFS 72-hour accumulated positive snow depth change forecast in inches. And that's quite a bit of white stuff there. Some of it reaching all the way into Mexico. We'll also show the full 72-hour GFS pressure and precipitation forecast. Some ice forecasted there for portions of the Dakotas. And incredibly heavy snow there coming to the Tahoe region of California. East central California there. Very, very heavy snow. Some thunder snow maybe even coming. As we've got some severe weather there, a powerful low will make its way southeast through California. And let's take a look at the snow forecasts here from Windy.com's Euro model. We're going to advance this 3 days. There's where things will be on the 13th. That is Tuesday. And check it out. Expecting 60 plus inches of snow on the ground. And indeed, over 6 feet of snow in some places are expected based on the Euro model. There you go, 74.1 inches of snow in that area near Mammoth Lakes. I suspect there'll be some pretty good downhill alpine sports going on in those areas. Wow, that is some serious snow. Next, looking at our NASA GOES lightning mapper, and we did have some thunderstorms there over Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas especially. Let's see if we have any active lightning strikes here at the moment. We did have some near Little Rock, actually. At the moment, things looking a little more calm here. Give that a moment to load. A little bit of lightning happening there in Oklahoma, and it looks like some in Texas. East of Lubbock, there is a small cell. Dickens County, there's thunder rolling in. Next time you hear thunder, consult lightningmaps.org. And let's continue on and close this mother out. Give it a minute. It'll load, I promise. So here is our U.S. Doppler radar map. That's the all 50 states. We'll focus on the lower 48. You can see heavy precipitation there, befalling California, Oregon, Washington, portions of Idaho. Also, St. Louis looks like it's getting some snow here at the moment. Next, clouds and fog. This is 3.9 nanometer radiation for the lower 48. Low clouds over a large portion of places like Cape Cod. The South Carolina coast, seeing some low clouds there. The distinctive pattern of low clouds. And there is our water vapor map. You can see all that moisture in the northwestern portion of the country. Really, the whole western portion of the country there, inundated with atmospheric moisture. Here's your recap to close things out. U.S. Doppler radar. .9 nanometer radiation satellite showing clouds and fog when half of the country is still dark. And there is the water vapor. Likely clear skies coming to Iowa here as some dry massive air is making its way over. Thanks for tuning in to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash-O-Mash, signing off. And may that solar wind be at your back. Opinions expressed in this video, not necessarily the opinions of Smash News Network, least busted name in news.